What's going on, guys? Your boy Holloway here, and welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, please hit that sub button, hit that like button. It's only going to help me out with the algorithm. I have a 2022 Ducati Panigale V4 with custom fairings from Monster Fairings. My code will be down in the description if you guys are interested in getting some money taken off and a free bolt kit to go along with it. But without further ado, we're going to jump into today's video. It's not going to be really a riding video. I'm just going to stand around the bike and talk a little bit because it's not going to be that long of a video. So today's topic is going to be about GoFundMes and like why I despise them and why it's kind of hindering the motorcycle community just a little bit. I'm not going to say it's like a big issue, but it is getting a bigger issue as time goes on. So the first things first is about like people making GoFundMes for bikes, and specifically I mean like people will disguise it as like, oh, I need this paid for because I got my wreck, or I need that paid for because I got my wreck. Like, let me just start off by saying there's nothing wrong with making a GoFundMe or asking your followers for money or anything like that. There's nothing wrong with it. Morally, in my opinion, yes, but who gives a fuck? You know, like, you do what you want to do. If your followers want to give you money, that's fine, but me personally, I'm not going to do that. But yes, so like, my thing is, a lot of people out here, they ride without insurance. And my thing is, like, if you're going to get a bike and you can't afford the insurance, then you can't afford the bike, right? Or if you're getting a bike that's financed, you can't afford the payment and you can't afford the insurance to go with it, then you can't afford the bike. And another rule of thumb is, like, you can't afford the payments, you can't afford the insurance, and you can't buy gear to go with it, then you just don't need to even start in this fantastic sport at all. I'd say get your gear first and then worry about getting a bike, because then, you know, you can always ride somebody else's bike if they will let you. If you have friends that do that. But yeah, like, people make these GoFundMes nowadays and they want people to give them money so they can buy a bike or they can save for a bike. And it's like, people don't want to work anymore. Like, people have to realize this motovlogging, just bikes in general, going to these events, that shit gets expensive very, very quickly. And for example, this back tire is almost $500, and I've had 2 nails go into it, and it has 2 patches because I'm not spending $500 on a new tire, okay? Is that dangerous? Yes, but it's my choice, it's my bike, I do what I want with my bike because I paid for it, right? But that's just the prime example of how expensive this thing can get. Another example is like, if you finance a bike, you know, you don't put a lot of money down, your payments are going to be sky high. If your credit's not good, your payments are going to be sky high, and then since you don't own the vehicle, the insurance is going to want you to get, or the bank or whoever, is going to want you to get full coverage. Full coverage is not cheap on these 1000cc motorcycle bikes. If you don't know that already, then you're probably just living under a rock, and it's probably going to be a shock to you whenever you do buy your first bike or your first 1000cc bike, and then you got to get insurance on it. And you'll be like, damn, I can't afford this shit. Well, like I always tell people who always say I can't afford something, you better go hit the oil rig, nigga. I don't know what to tell you other than you better go hit the oil rig or something, because me personally, I just hate handouts, and that's what I'm getting at on this little bulletin point is nobody likes a person that wants handouts all the time. Like, that's just one thing in my opinion, especially in this little space. Like, you see it so much, people begging people to give them bikes and begging people to give them money so they can get a bike and get a helmet, and it's like, bro, just go to work. Just go to work. It's not that hard. Moving right along into the second bulletin point, medical bills. This is the only exception I have with the GoFundMes and everything. So like, if you wreck, all right, let's just say you don't have insurance, which that's your own fault. You should always have insurance through your job or whether you're paying for it privately or whatever. You should always have insurance because medical bills are not fucking cheap. But like I said, this is the only exception I have with the GoFundMes, is that if someone makes a GoFundMe and they're using it for the medical bills, like, and then at the end of the day, someone's gonna be like, play devil's advocate, you know, like, well, how do you know they're not paying for a bike or paying for bike parts or getting helmets, even though they disguise it as they're paying for the medical bills? I mean, at the end of the day, that's not my decision. Like, I can't sit there and go babysit that person and be like, no, you can only spend it on medical bills. But my thing is, if you have it set up as medical bills, I think you should be putting it towards your medical bills, because at the end of the day, yes, we can give you money all you want to, but you're going to spend it how you want to spend it, and that's your debt that you're collecting. That's not my business. You know, I did my part by giving, whatever. And let me just throw this out there. Me personally, I don't donate at all. I don't donate to charity. I don't donate to GoFundMes. I don't donate to anything like that. I don't even give out $20, all right? it is very rare for me to give somebody $20 or money in general, because I just had bad experience with getting my money back or trying to recoup said money from someone or whatever, like handing out a loan or something like that. Like, I just don't believe in that. You have the same 24 hours as I do in the day, so there should be no point in you begging me for money and then you can't pay it back. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always something for you to do to make money in this world we're living in today. All right, so this is kind of stepping away from the GoFundMe thing just a little bit, but people begging in DMs, like me personally, I've not gotten a DM from someone begging for them to give them a bike, or begging me to give them some money or whatever, but I've seen it so much from like popular YouTubers or popular Instagram influencers or just TikTokers. Like, people have the audacity, instead of getting up and going to work, finding them a job to be able to afford this expensive hobby, they're just gonna sit on the internet, make like a burner account or whatever, and just beg for money in hopes of someone giving them money for their bike build or whatever. Like, let me just tell you guys, if you're watching this and you're one of those people, that's never gonna happen. Okay, you're never gonna run across someone who just wants to give out money. Like, there's not a lot of Mr. Beast out there. Even Mr. Beast makes people work for the money, and like whether it's competition or something like that. But like, it's very rare that people just hand out that much money at one time and you're able to go buy a bike with it or something like that. But I will say, like, there has been times, like back in my day, and like, I always, if I'm calling somebody on their bullshit, I want someone to call me on my bullshit, but I'm self-aware. Like, there was times before where I have DM'd someone way before I even got into motorcycles, like this deep into motorcycles. There's been times where I've DM'd like popular YouTubers and stuff like that, like, hey, like, give me a bike, give me one of your old bikes, or give me some money for a bike or something like that. Like, I've done it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a saint when it comes to some of this stuff, and I always call myself out because I know people are probably gonna try to do that in the comments, and then it's always better to be ahead of the 8 ball than being behind it. But I think it's just not a good look, and like, all these things can pile together, and people misusing the GoFundMe funds for, when it's supposed to be for your medical bills, and you're buying brand new H2s and shit. Like, me personally, like, that's just, it hinders. It's not a good look for the motorcycle community in general, but at the same time, there's already so much against us. Like, you know, people out here doing takeovers and wheeling down the interstate and running into people and causing these big wrecks, or like smashing mirrors and stuff like that. Like, we already look so bad on paper, and then you throw money into it as far as like GoFundMe's, and you're misusing the funds. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that does not paint a good picture for us. But, and let me just throw this out here, because I know someone's probably going to say it in the comments, or they're probably going to DM me about it. Oh, well, you can't say they're misusing the funds because you donated the money, so whatever they do with their said money is none of your business. Okay, that's right. But it's the fact that you are misleading and saying you're going to use it for medical bills, or you're going to use it for this, you're going to use it for that, and you go do something completely opposite of it. Like, that's so misleading. That's like not forthcoming with the truth, and you're like tricking people into saying it's for one thing, and then you're spinning it on something else. Like, that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my only argument there. I don't really have anything else to say about that, but like I was just saying, just in general, it's not cool. So that was a quick little video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I know it wasn't really me riding a lot. It was just me sitting here yapping. Is that a Svedka bottle? I know it's just me sitting here yapping. But if you guys enjoyed the video, if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, drop them down below in the comment section. I read all my comments. I usually get back to people within a day or a couple hours, depending on what I got going on. But don't forget, if you want anything NBT, if you want the pants, you want the hoodie, anything like that, I have a description. Down in the description, I have a code Hollywood. I'll put it up here on the screen. If you want to use it, it saves you 15% off. Not only you're helping yourself save some money, you're also helping me, and you're helping the channel out tremendously. Alright guys, don't forget, wear your gear, ride safe, don't get caught in the rain. Keep chasing greatness. You never know what's going to happen when you keep pushing in life. You keep striving, one foot after the other. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.